Consultech, synergizing transformation.
Somebody who is a part of TCS for 34 years, led various roles, leadership roles, and managed strategic multi-billion dollar units. As the CEO of TCS eServe subsidiary, he also managed one of the largest acquisitions done by Indian IT industry. I think that talks a lot about the profile that he has been having. And now,
we actually at TCS have been running Sustainathon as a program more in the Asia Pacific region. And it was the first time that we brought it to India and decided to do it in Pune. And we took the challenge of waste management, especially in the city of Pune. Visit of the US Consul General to Mumbai. He had visited MCCIA. And he said, is there something that we can do together? And he laid down 4 of those areas. Cybersecurity was one of them, AI, quantum computing, and IoT. These are the 4 areas which were directly having a bearing on the Pune ecosystem. The IoT related area probably started much earlier, pre-COVID in fact. However, what had happened was the adoption was very poor. And we actually have now played an active role in getting the adoption fast-tracked. There are a few drivers for it. One of the drivers is sustainability and people understanding the energy consumption that they have, resource consumption and things like that, and how IoT can enable capture a lot of data which is required to prove that they are on the right track. We invite industry leaders to nominate themselves to be either on the advisory body or on the board of studies, or to get visits organized for students. So various opportunities which are there. Just as an example, we organized a GCC Forum, and many of the GCC leaders actually mentioned to us that they would like to participate in the academia ecosystem. And we offered to enable the connects because MCCIA does have a education committee. There have been success stories. There are organizations which have a very strong relationship with certain academic setups, and they are getting their problems addressed through that relationship that they have. So I think there are pockets of excellence like those, but it requires to scale, sustain, probably diversify into other regions. Like education is about preparing talent not for today but for tomorrow. And hence, industry has a view around what is there out there from a roadmap point of view. And hence, industry coming and talking to faculty members as board of studies, as industry advisors, and telling what are the things that are required in the future. Because the curriculum has to evolve to the needs of the industry and not stay static.
Hi, this is Shirish Kulkarni, founder and MD of STROTA Consultech, and we have been driving this initiative to talk to various individuals, personalities who have definitely got innovative types of ventures, have been actually pursuing their career in a different ways, bringing different ecosystems together. Today we have a special guest with us, Dinanath Kholkar. Dinanath, great to have you.
Hi, Shirish. Thank you for having me on this show.
Great. Somebody who is a part of TCS for 34 years, led various roles, leadership roles, and managed strategic multi-billion dollar units. As the CEO of TCS eServe subsidiary, he also managed one of the largest acquisitions done by Indian IT industry. I think that talks a lot about the profile that he has been having. And now actually driving as a board member and also professor of practice in COEP and also VJTI. I think it's a great synergy to see you working on various ecosystems, Dina.
Yeah, Shirish, it's been an exciting journey. Been very fortunate to have had a wonderful career at TCS and followed that with various opportunities that I've got to play in the Pune ecosystem, and very recently taking on the responsibility of professor of practice both at my alma mater as well as COEP Tech University.
Super. I think there are things that you had been doing also in from the TCS days. As I remember, the Sustainathon was the initiative where you touched a lot of part of ecosystem as such, various stakeholders, Maybe you can just give a little bit of a highlight of what was that initiative all about.
Yeah, so Pune International Center had launched a paper on Pune being carbon neutral. And at one of the discussions that I had with Dr. Vijay Kelkar, who is Vice President of PIC, he encouraged me to take some steps towards executing on the recommendations. And we actually at TCS have been running Sustainathon as a program more in the Asia Pacific region. And it was the first time that we brought it to India and decided to do it in Pune. And we took the challenge of waste management, especially in the city of Pune, and ran an ideathon initiative under that TCS Sustainathon Pune version. And it was for students of engineering as well as school students to come up with the various ideas. And as part of that, we were able to bring in pretty much all the stakeholders in the waste management of the Pune city, including the Pune Municipal Corporation, other Poonawalla Clean City Initiative, various people who are involved with this topic. And we had the blessings of Dr. Mashelkar, who himself came for the inaugural of the TCS Sustainathon. And then at the concluding event, we had the Rajya Sabha MP, Mrs. Vandana Chavan, as well as Dr. Karmarkar, who was the SPPU vice chair then. And we had phenomenal participation. Close to 3,000 plus students participated in this. And all of this was done online. This was at the fag end of the COVID pandemic. But it was a great success and gave us a lot of confidence that when it comes to specific issues, the city of Pune and specifically the experts from Pune came together to address a particular purpose. And the energy was delivered by the students who participated.
I think it's a great initiative which I saw getting culminated also in the form of new ideas getting converted into executable projects, which were owned up eventually by the stakeholders and taken forward. That's wonderful. We will talk and get in more details about all this ecosystem: IEEE, MCCIA, PIC, now COEP, and bringing the best of the best out of that and trying to weave it together as certain initiatives that actually matter in the form of maybe artificial intelligence.
I think I will like to give more of a broader perspective around this. See, the complexities of problems that we are addressing today are increasing day by day. And it is very difficult for one organization or one individual to address that issue. And hence, collaboration is very key. And also to bring in all stakeholders together to address the issues. And when it comes to collaboration, many a times it is not necessarily a mandate that all of these organizations have to participate. It is their purpose that they need to associate with and then come together and contribute towards it. And obviously, once it comes to a particular stage in form of a project and things like that, then obviously there has to be funding, government has to play a key role, public-private partnerships have to play and things like that. But I think the important topic point that I'm highlighting is the need for collaboration and need for bringing various experts together. And I think COVID showed us that way, and we could see a lot of these things, and hence the propagation of that practice and evolving next practices in the entire journey has been very key.
Wonderful. Now let's talk about specific initiatives that you're driving, say for cyber security, which is definitely a topic of immense interest. Both and we are trying to look at not only the cyber security from one point of view, but also looking at students, their future. We are also looking at the industry also participating. We are also having MCCIA like an organization also bringing their viewpoints together. So how is it getting shaped up? And I believe that it has reached to some level of involvement from everybody, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So the journey started way back 2023. I think it was in June that Prime Minister Modi visited the US, and they came up with a charter around critical and emerging technologies. And within that, cybersecurity was one of the key areas where they decided that we will need to collaborate. And a follow-up to that was the visit of the US Consul General to Mumbai He had visited MCCIA, and he said, "Is there something that we can do together?" And he laid down four of those areas. Cybersecurity was one of them, AI, quantum computing, and IoT. These are the four areas which were directly having a bearing on the Pune ecosystem. And we were already in discussions around cyber threats and what are the things that we need to do as part of the Chamber's initiatives. And I had just taken over as the chair for MCCIA's IT and ITAS committee. And we said, yeah, we will pick up this as an area. We did a basic groundwork to look at will there be participation? Is there a genuine need for it? Will we be able to get the necessary support from experts and stuff like that? And then we decided to formally launch it exactly a year ago in Feb 2024 is when we launched the initiative. And the objective of the initiative was very simple, three-pronged objective. Number one was to create a landing pad because we felt that there could be companies who would be wanting to set up cybersecurity businesses here in Pune. There could be product companies who want to set up their GCCs and things like that. Pune can be a good home for them, and MCCI will play a role in enabling them. The second one, we said we will focus on cybersecurity education, awareness, and various other things, which are largely focused on the student community, but awareness also spread into other areas, the society at large, and things like that. And the third area we decided was let us focus on the industry itself. And MCCI has a very large number of members, but there is a larger pool of MSMEs which are out there, and they did not have the level of understanding of cybersecurity and cyber risk which were there, and hence focusing on taking the message towards opportunities which were there and getting opportunities created for IT service providers, product companies through that journey by making things resilient. So we did that. We did the formal launch in Feb of 2024, and then we formed an advisory committee for the initiative. And the advisory committee is constituted with a very inclusive mindset that we need to have experts from different areas. So right from having core computer science, cybersecurity experts to people who are from academia, from industry, legal experts, forensic experts, cyber physical system experts, people who are working on defense technology, those expertise. We also have a financial consultant. So very diverse set of people in the advisory committee. And we created a complete charter for the initiative. And in the month of May 2024, we formally launched the charter saying that this is what we will do. And we are very fortunate that the US ambassador to India, he visited for Pune around that time, and we got the launch done at his hands. So it got us the type of visibility. And we have been running these initiatives. We focused on the education ecosystem first. We have close to about 25 colleges we are actively participating. They have formed cybersecurity clubs. They are doing various initiatives to ensure that the students are aspiring to take on bigger challenges in this field. And they are also propagating the message around cyber awareness and things like that to the larger ecosystem within their college itself. And parallelly, we also started with the MSMEs. We have been running a World Bank initiative in partnership with the Government of India called the RAMP initiative, which is raising and accelerating MSME productivity. And in that, we have cybersecurity as one of the tracks. And a couple of members who are working closely with us are running awareness programs. We are also open to other people, experts coming in and doing the awareness for the MSMEs. And very recent, we decided that we will organize an all-women cybersecurity contest, primarily to address the issue that we were seeing that not many girls or women are in the field of cybersecurity. Hence, we decided to focus on that segment. And we are doing the CTF contest on 29th of March, this month being celebrated as the International Women's Day, which we just concluded. But we decided to do it in the month of March, that we have close to about, I think, over 50 teams now registered for this. And this will be held at the Cummins College of Engineering for Women, rightly so, because there's large number of women students in that college, and we are looking forward to participation. We've been very fortunate to have industry leaders like Qualys and Centralogic as our partners, as sponsors for this effort. And we have the support of the MCCIA members to drive this overall effort. So all in all, I think the initiative has given us the differentiating factor in one sense, that a chamber has taken such an initiative. It has created opportunities for members, and we are identifying areas which can potentially help create the larger talent pool, get more investments in form of companies coming and setting up their businesses here. Also looking at IT services companies focusing on this as one of their areas of focus. So all in all, that has really helped, and the MCCI ITS committee very clearly has shown that it has delivered to whatever goals that we had laid down.
I think this is really amazing. And talking about MSME, typically we have found that they are not a kind of advanced or ahead of the curve, but they are definitely ones who need to be handheld to various aspects of. Now we are talking about artificial intelligence or IIoT or cyber security. Is there a kind of a special kind of hand? Maybe the ramp is the initiative where you see this kind of awareness getting converted into they slowly adopting those aspects where there might be a pushback for initiatives like Industry
No,
4.0.
so yes, obviously there is a ramp initiative is more to create awareness and wherever need be handholding. But I think at the same time, it is also important to understand that there are some regulations which are coming up, which will necessitate that organizations take these steps. And if they are not cyber resilient, they potentially could face a risk on being able to export their goods to certain countries where these regulations are coming into play. So it will also be important for us to look at how do we ensure that these people do it, and unless it is mandated, unless it is a compliance matter, people don't take it seriously. So hence, the awareness dimension is very crucial. And in the last four conferences, large conferences that MCCI and PIC has organized, we've ensured that cybersecurity features as a key topic, so that the larger population which is attending those conferences are aware that we are putting in a serious effort towards this.
Superb. And I see also an initiative about demystifying IIoT and Industry 4.0, which has been taken in as definitely a technology initiative maybe 3 to 4 years back. But it might have kind of benefited, not benefited the way expectations were,
Yes,
right?
absolutely. So the IoT related area probably started much earlier, pre-COVID, in fact. However, what had happened was the adoption was very poor. And we actually have now played an active role in getting the adoption fast-tracked. There are a few drivers for it. One of the drivers is sustainability and people understanding the energy consumption that they have, resource consumption and things like that, and how IoT can enable capture a lot of data which is required to prove that they are on the right track. But the approach that we took in the MCCI setup was we created a cluster of companies which were going to consume these technologies, as well as companies which were providing these services, as well as consultants and academicians together in a group. And we ensured that they connected and then they experimented and then they showcased the outcomes which were there. And the way we have been doing it, while we are having regular connects enabled, at the Pune Expo that MCCI organizes in the month of November, we showcase the outcomes so that the larger group is able to is aware of what are the things which have been delivered, how are people benefiting from the implementations and things like that. And as part of this effort, I have also been visiting some of these companies to understand how they have implemented it, what is the business benefit, how are they actually making the business cases itself and stuff like that. And it has been quite a phenomenal learning. And it is also good to see some of the startups which have scaled up now because of the efforts that we have been enabling in this initiative of the IoT cluster.
Wonderful. And I think there was one example that we have been talking about where there was this startup which actually was able to save the energy, right? And
Yeah,
whenever you save that energy, anything that is adding, growing the bottom line or reducing the cost
yeah.
matters a lot for MSME.
No, absolutely. So while there is, there are all energy efficient lighting, for example, which has come in. There are also cases where there is lighting which is very unnecessary at times, and you need to have a mechanism to save it. And there is a lot of devices, especially which are able to sense various things, movement, presence of certain objects, or the ambient lighting which is already there and stuff like that, and they can take a call and help in the decision-making process, and in a way that it doesn't require too much of training to a staff like the security guards or the housekeeping folks. They can do certain things without having to have a technologist intervention as such. And the savings are not small. It's not about very small saving. It is 60-70% of
Wow.
lighting energy which was getting consumed is now getting saved through this implementation. And we have now been quite encouraged with this and making recommendations through Pune International Center. We actually organized a roundtable now making recommendations to the government saying that such type of scenarios or use cases should pretty much be made they should be made aware that there are solutions like this, and if need be, mandate certain implementations through say the architects community or through the builders community or even through the consultants, energy auditors community, various communities like these who, if they are made aware, they can make those recommendations. And it has significant benefits because one is obviously the energy saving which would happen so that industry can potentially use that energy. Second is, even though if it is renewable energy, I think it is important to also appreciate the fact that you don't want lights to be kept on because you'll have to then replace the bulbs on a periodic basis, which is again impact on sustainability. So I think these are various factors. Plus, if technology is being used, India is propagating a lot of made in India initiatives, right? And if there are very smart product makers who are into this field, it also gives boost to their products and their services. So I think it is also a very strong economic factor that we need to look at encouraging our companies which are coming up with these products. And as electronics and semiconductor becomes more significant as a made in India initiative, I feel that we also need to create a market for them. And these type of things, it will have a dual impact, that it will have a direct impact on maybe you can talk about global warming and other things. But at the grassroots level, it's a direct economic impact on the company's bottom line directly. And if they want to show the initiatives around sustainability, no better example like this.
I think it is definitely a great lever to have to see the impact on bottom line directly. If at all energy saving is an outcome of say industry 4.0 or IoT initiative, I think it's a great way that the sustainability is getting leveraged to really matter there. Moving on to another topic of interest is auto electrical, and we are actually going to refer to a lot of initiatives that are being carved out in COEP, electrical and electronics department and space there, where industry visits, awareness of about what is there as a part of auto electrical and electronic system, which has become very, very complex as a system. Getting students also to visit, eventually having the experts also visit back and creating that ecosystem, having maybe center of excellence or experience center. I think those are really wonderful areas that are getting cultivated in COEP, right?
Yeah, so there is a more fundamental issue which I want to call out is that over the last 30 years or so, electronics departments blossomed in multiple colleges. While COEP is one of the oldest electronics and telecommunications department, but many other colleges came up with electronics much later, probably in the 90s, and then it scaled up. However, the industry never really blossomed as much as it was anticipated. And we focused more on the services side of it, more on the IT side of it. And hence, a lot of people who graduated from electronics from a job seeking point of view look towards the IT industry for job opportunities. And over a period of time, the connect that was there with the industry was also depleting between academia and industry. And the interest of students towards electronics as a core also dwindled, because what happened was, while they joined the electronics stream thinking that they would take up something in the field of electronics, since there were not much of industry connects, not much of opportunities that they could see, they started changing mid-course towards IT. So one of the things which we realized was that there is a need for the electronics department, specifically given the transformation that is happening in India. So much amount of investment that the government is making, and very large conglomerates are also investing a lot of money in the field of electronics. It is important to visit this space and look at what can potentially be done. So I've been working with a few very senior leaders who are in this industry. Also, industry bodies like various IEEE society chapters, IIT Bombay, there is CEMEX, which is there. IIT Madras, they have been very much driving a lot of these initiatives. Plus, setup which has got created in the COEP through a generous donation by three organizations as part of their CSR. They have created a full-fledged SMT line in the institute. And plus, MCCIA itself, along with the government, has created a MCCIA Electronics Cluster Foundation, which is a shared service for electronics industry. So there are a lot of things which were there, but somebody who can understand all of these things and then help bring all the things together and then make a difference is what I am doing currently at COEP. My primary role is to drive the transformation, right from getting the faculty members to focus on certain areas, to getting the students aligned towards those areas, connect with the industry leaders, getting industry visits organized, also alumnus who are in different electronics field, getting them connected back and getting them to interact with the students and things like that. And potentially looking at partnerships either in Taiwan or in the US or in Germany or any other locations would be very useful to enable this transformation. And lastly, I think we need to ensure that people are also well educated about the vast set of opportunities which are there and what type of high-end skills will be required in each of these areas. More importantly, also to look at, there could be, we can do technology at the apex of it, but India might not require that level of technology. India's need might be very different. So how do you create solutions which are very India specific? So various of these things all have culminated into this transformation initiative that I have been fortunate to be a part of. And we have probably taken steps towards it. And we have identified a few areas. You mentioned about automotive electronics. That is one of the areas. We have 5G and 6G, which is largely the broad communications space. The third is the advanced electronics manufacturing and the SMT line that I talked about, and how that fits in from an industry point of view. Skill development as well as prototype development as well as research are focus areas in that. The fifth area is around medtech. A lot of advances which in medtech is happening because of electronics devices and various sensing mechanisms and things like that, and combine that with AI and various techniques which are available to understand data better. And the last area which we have is our core strength of the ENTC department, which is digital signal processing, image processing. These have been very fundamental to the strength of the department. We've had many people who have done their PhDs in related areas in this topic, which is applicable to all the other areas that I mentioned earlier. and we decided that we should focus on these and come up with a roadmap for each of these areas, build up partnerships with industry. We invite industry leaders to nominate themselves to be either on the advisory body or on the board of studies, or to get visits organized for students. So various opportunities which are there. And I'm also working on writing a paper on all of this work that is being done through Pune International Center around what should be the department of the future as far as electronics and telecommunication is concerned, and whether and how we should shape up a experience center for electronics and telecommunication through the experiences that we have seen and been through. And not to say that others are not doing it, but it will be good guidance for many other such departments which are looking for how to transform themselves and make them ready for how the industry is shaping up.
Superb. I think this you know direction of looking at the future of education or education in future it is amazing. And if the stakeholders like industry, academia are coming together with alumnus as a lever, I think it's a great thing to happen. I see AICTE and also UGC creating this special way of interfacing industry academia through roles like POP, Professor of Practice, where industry experts can formally, with a structure, come in and actually start contributing in a absolute committed way.
Yeah, I think the professor of practice has been a good step in the right direction. However, I think industry has not necessarily aligned well towards it, because it is requiring person to be made available pretty much for the duration or the time that he or she commits for the activities that he or she would perform at the institute or the university. They will also get compensated for it, and hence the HR policies in the corporate world has to be aligned towards it. They need to make time, and it is not volunteering activity. It will have commitments that the person will have to deliver to. And hence it is important that organizations look at this as a very strong lever to also encourage some of their experts to participate in this. In organizations which have, many organizations have had people participating in this process through visiting faculty or through guest lectures or workshops, or organizing, contests and things like that. But a professor of practice role, just think about it, that if you have to take a complete course or you want to do co-teaching for a particular program, then I think there has to be clear-cut roadmap created for those individuals. As an example, in COEP, one of the things which we are looking at is for specific programs, we are looking at 25 to 30% of the course itself to be conducted or co-taught by industry experts. And that will give a good flavor of blending in industry expertise into the education, as well as it will give exposure to the faculty members who are currently owning and anchoring that particular program. So I think I very much encourage industry to look at this as a very focused manner. And it also helps the development of the mid-level leaders, because they interact with academia, bright students as well. And they will be able to nurture and guide the next generation of talent for the industry's needs as such.
Excellent, excellent. I think moving ahead, a concrete kind of a step could be industry academia conclave, where you will have participation from both the sides. Industry would definitely participate in the form of various technologies and projects, potential
Yeah,
opportunities.
as a simple thing is that academia publishing the opportunities which are there for these type of roles. Second is industry being made aware. So like say, for example, there are various industry bodies which are there. So we are actually doing that through MCCIA. Just as an example, we organized a GCC Forum, and many of the GCC leaders actually mentioned to us that they would like to participate in the academia ecosystem. And we offered to enable the connects, because MCCIA does have a education committee. And there is always the need that comes up from one institute or the other for either a board of studies or industry advisory body or for any other things where such people can play a role.
Correct. You know, each ecosystem comes up with their own metrics and the way that they are structured. Academia could be, focusing more on research papers, the kind of PhD students, number of PhD students, maybe the patents being acquired. The level of maturity actually also is to get them to start doing consulting engagement, real life projects. So do you see a movement towards that also is encouraged, and it's something that we should look at?
I think it is very much there. So most of the top universities or institutions do have their research arm very clearly set up. There are roles created in form of dean of research. There are also research parks being created in some of these institutes. So while IITs have been traditionally having it, COEP, for example, will be launching its research park at Chikhli. And the opportunity over there is for industry to bring in their problems and have the researchers work on those problems. Researchers or even postgraduate students which are there, they can work on those. And it gets anchored by the professors who can extend their research activities, potentially can be a postdoctoral fellow and things like that. So I think there is definitely an opportunity. One is to look at problems which are here and now, which many industries struggle with. They need solutions for the problems, and academia can help along with the participation from faculty and students, and the longer term problems which the researchers can focus on. So there has to be a clear-cut roadmap and mechanism towards doing it. In fact, about a couple of years back, we had organized a webinar series, from organized by IEEE Pune section on taking the industry academia collaboration to the next level, more focused on the research agenda. Because today there is a lot of focus on teaching, there is a lot of focus on giving students the exposure and things like that. But research is not as much in focus. And given that now research related funding also can come under CSR, this was a great opportunity. And hence IEEE Pune section did two series webinar, which was one was only focused on IT and related areas. And the other one was on the non-IT manufacturing sector, where we had people from industry and academia talking about what all they potentially would like from each other. So I think there is clearly a need for this to be scaled up. There is to be a confidence building exercise, I would say, between academia and industry, because academia is not getting that type of a visibility in the problem solving space. And industry feels that maybe if we give it to academia, we don't know whether it'll be able to get delivered on time and things like that. So I think that handshake, the trust building and all of that stuff is a very crucial part of the journey. But to look at in a very objective way, there have been success stories. There are organizations which have a very strong relationship with certain academic setups, and they are getting their problems addressed through that relationship that they have. So I think there are pockets of excellence like those, but it requires to scale, sustain, probably diversify into other regions. Like, you don't have to concentrate all of those things only in the cities. There are also very bright students in rural India who are in various colleges. They are also innovating. In fact, 50% of the startups get registered in non-urban locations. So I think there is also an opportunity to look at a much broader spectrum when it comes to research and industry problem solving.
I think it's really great. And talking about, the flair of the next generation artificial intelligence, which falls in the area where you had been spending time in TCS, analytics, business intelligence, and eventually the AI part, artificial intelligence. I believe AICT has got its AI committee, as well as Maharashtra government also has got AI task force. And it's a great synergy to drive that also as an area of focus moving forward, right? Various initiatives also are center of excellence getting carved out for use cases that matter the most for the.
Yeah, so the AICT committee that I'm part of, it is primarily focused on the education side of it, or how do you train people? How do you bring AI into the curriculum of all technical education across India? And once you train the people, it's not only about the students, but you have to look at faculty training. You need to look at students and their hands-on activities that they will do, the projects that they will do, and stuff like that. So it is a committee that is revisiting some of these aspects on what type of infra is required to do the training. There is also a large amount of investment that India is making either through the India AI mission and various other initiatives which are ongoing. But it is important for us to clearly keep in mind that we need to develop skills, and in the skills dimension, which is through the technical education sector, each and every field has to have AI embedded into it. And either it could be awareness, it could be very usage of AI in specific areas and stuff like that. And hence, that effort is very crucial. It's still in the early stages of discussions, and we hope to have the report out in a few weeks from now. On the other side, Maharashtra government has also taken a similar step. It is driven by the Directorate of Technical Education, again focused on education, but it also looks at research. It also looks at how we can contribute towards the needs of the small and medium business or industry at large. And that is relatively a new task force that has been set up. Obviously, there is a good amount of synergy, because whatever we do at the AICT level will directly have a benefit for this committee. But overall, I think it is good to see that these initiatives are being thought as a critical one. And more importantly, I think while we look at AI, and we should absolutely not look at AI the way the Western world looks at AI. Our challenges in what India needs are very different. In the Western world, they have a shortage of people. They have to automate a lot of things. On the other side, we have to look at use of AI for job creation. And what are the new areas that we can potentially look at? We can also look at AI for training people to become more efficient, things like that. So how can we actually reimagine various things with the advent of AI will be crucial. And hence, embedding that AI thinking into the technical education will make the students think that, hey, look, we can do this with AI. And if you give them the context saying that for India's economic development, these are the parameters that one needs to look at. And hence, think in this particular dimension, that if you can effectively make use of AI for economic development, for job creation, for addressing societal issues, for addressing climate change like crisis and things like that. I think that will set the tone on this journey.
Great, great. I think coming to a last portion where I would definitely like to see where corporate has got its own way of handling the way that goal setting and the whole mechanism gets worked on. While I see that there is a cross leverage of those aspects with the staff member, the faculty member also getting special kind of hand holding that you have been conducting. They have been made aware of how the goal setting happens, the whole process of how it inherits for something that we want to achieve together, right? So it's a great thing to see that those tenets of getting brought in the academia as a cross leverage.
No, I think we have tremendous talent in academia. We have some of the brightest of teachers. They have been accomplished researchers. They have done a lot of good work. They have built a large pool of students through the years. And as things change and as things are changing very fast, I think it is our responsibility to ensure that we provide them that mechanism, that opportunity to upskill themselves, to look at how do they ready themselves for what is coming up. And it is not only the existing teachers, but also encourage the upcoming generation of teachers plus also encourage people who are in the industry, who have the inclination to teach, to take up professor of practice roles. So I think that space has to have a good amount of focus. And while AICT and DTE does a lot of interventions to through FDPs and various other programs like the Atal program that they run, there is a lot more that can be done with active participation from industry bodies, from chambers of commerce, with collaborations with international partners. Industry, of course, is a very key element in this entire journey.
So wonderful. I think the last question is where you've been in the ecosystem of students, you have staff members, you have faculty members, you have MSMEs, you have government bodies, you have AICT, you have MCCIA, IEEE. I think it's a gamut of various kind of pillars that we are trying to get together and manage that whole ecosystem. Maybe last stage would be where I would request you, if you have any kind of specific message for say students or faculty members or alumni or MSME or our peers in the industry in corporates. But do you have something that you want to share that since you are leading that path, you're exploring?
Yeah. So I would say that curiosity for the students is a key element. They have to be very curious about what are the things which are changing, be aware of what are the opportunities which are there. They can drive a lot of things, while there is a lot of initiatives that they are part of in the co-curricular space or extracurricular space. But I think it is also important for them to be very actively involved with what are the things which are changing in the industry and stuff like that. So I think students playing that role and also doing core activities. So for example, if you are in the electronics department, the example that I was giving earlier, then you need to absolutely look at what all can you do with electronics, how you can build up skills, what are the type of experimentation that you can possibly do, who are the ones which you will connect with and things like that. So I think those type of projects, and it is for the students to demand or ask for it. Once they ask about it, then we are able to do it much more effectively. So that's one thing. And there are many opportunities to innovate course curriculums and other things, but their feedback is crucial. The NEP 2020 has been a very good lever for the dynamic nature or evolving nature of curriculum. So that is definitely a very important thing for students. On the faculty side, I would say faculty members and of course students also should look at being part of at least one industry body or a professional body. So for example, in the electronics, telecommunication department and electrical engineering or computer science, IT, instrumentation, I have been encouraging that they take up IEEE membership. And not just take IEEE membership, but also take a membership of a society that is very relevant. So somebody who is doing work on 5G and 6G should take up Communication Society membership. Somebody who is doing work in the field of medical, and then there is an EMBS society which is there. So there are various of these societies which are very in-depth in their knowledge, in their entire expertise pool. They should definitely look at the professional development for faculty members is a very crucial aspect. It's not just about FDPs, but it's also about to know about what else is happening in the industry and things like that. Industry fairs, industry talks, industry conferences should absolutely be attended and debriefed by the attendees to the others. And I think that is very important. As regards the alumni, I think the first thing which I would say is that stay in touch with your alma mater, because that itself is the first thing. There are many folks that I have been connected with and I've been getting them to visit. They are visiting the college almost after 20, 30 years of graduation, which is not right. I think it is important to think of your alma mater as your mother or your parents, if the way you look at it. And if you visit your parents very frequently and regularly, then there is no reason why you should not visit your alma mater. Because once you visit, once you build up the connect, and it's quite likely that your teachers have all moved on, they have retired, they're no longer there. But I think there are a lot of memories, there are a lot of things that are there which you can do. And your organization's participation in the department, in the institute, could also be a very important lever that you can bring in. There are people who are putting in efforts on the Alumni Connect and things like that. So rather than department or the institute doing that, visiting and getting some things organized for your class, for your batch is a easier thing to do. And I think that would definitely help from a alumni point of view. And there are many things. There are alumnus who are very well off. They have made a very big name for themselves, contributing financially. And there are a lot of upgrades that are required in form of labs, experience center, and various other things. There have been very significant donations that have been done, and institutional donations as well as individual donations do form a part of the CSR kitty that you may have. So there is an opportunity in that space. And as I mentioned, the professor of practice role, I was very privileged to be invited by my alma mater BJTI as a distinguished professor of practice, because they have included many of the distinguished alumnus as part of that pool. And it actually helps. It is not requiring me to do things in person, but I can do things online as well as whenever I visit. So I think there are opportunities. And industry, I did talk a lot about research as one of the areas, but also to identify areas which are required by the industry in the future, because education is about preparing talent not for today but for tomorrow. And hence industry has a view around what is there out there from a roadmap point of view. And hence industry coming and talking to faculty members as board of studies, as industry advisors, and telling what are the things that are required in the future, because the curriculum has to evolve to the needs of the industry and not stay static. I think that is an important element. So there is a lot that we can definitely do. And I think we have to ensure that more people are able to think in that direction. And if there are people who are wanting to do that, there are avenues that we can enable them through the connects that we have either at MCCI or PIC or COEP, and also IEEE.
Superb. I think it was wonderful to hear you and getting more and more about all these various aspects of ways that you are trying to bring this ecosystem together. I think it's a roadmap you are trying to create. It's a role that you are leading from front. It had been wonderful to talk to you about all these aspects.
Thank you, Shirish, and I look forward to people reaching out to us on what they can do. And I think it may be a very good idea if we get more people to come with their asks or what they would like to do. I think we can definitely organize one session for such people.
Wonderful. So for those who are interested in any ecosystem, any part of corporate or any kind of way that they want to actually have any thoughts of helping out or reaching out, I think it is great synergy to reach out to Dina. And Dina, great. Our best wishes for the research paper that you are writing. Best wishes for aspects of various initiatives that you are driving. And it is a fantastic idea that others follow some streaks, if at all they are able to carve out the way that you are leading from the front. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Shirish. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Truth Consultech, Synergizing Transformation.